Oh, hello there. How are you doing? Hey, you know what's awesome? The new Darktable is out. A few days ago, Darktable 2.2.0 was released, and I am very happy to see that. Today, I'd like to take a quick look with you at the most awesome, in my opinion, new feature in Darktable 2.2.0, which is the perspective correction module. They have a really nice article about it that explains everything, how it works. You can just Google Darktable Perspective Module and you will find it, or you can just click here. And you can get all the details about how it works in this article. It explains the different sections in the module, but I'm not going to go through that article with you. You can do that yourself. I do recommend reading it. I'm going to check out the features of the module with you using one of my beautiful pictures. So this is a shot I took back in 2007 that I'm still very much in love with. But one thing that's always bugged me a little bit about it is that the perspective is a little bit off. You can see here these lines are diagonal, these are diagonal. We want this skyscraper to be perfectly straight. So this is exactly what this perspective correction module does. It has sliders up here where you can first of all rotate the image so that the horizon is exactly horizontal, which is pretty much the case in this image. So we don't really need to do this here. You can do a lens shift vertical, which shifts the lens like this. And now you can also see it's already becoming more uh, the lines are becoming more vertical, and you could also do a horizontal shift. So these are all manual corrections that you can apply. You can also shear the image, which is this. And let me just go back to normal, and you can see the shear effect a little bit better. That's the shear effect. This is all good and nice, and it also gives you a couple of extra helpers here. For instance, you can put the guides on so you can see what is actually perfectly horizontal and vertical. That way you can adjust it a little bit more precisely, and you will have your image in the correct perspective in no time. But with an image like this, it's fairly simple. But let's say we use an image like this, it becomes harder. First of all, we have a little bit of lens distortion. Let's just get rid of that quickly. Lens correction, and you can see it's no longer distorted, but it's horizontally, of course, it's completely out of whack, and also vertically, the lines are not perfectly vertical. They're also still horizontal. Um, and when you try to do this manually, you kind of go nuts pretty quickly because it takes you a whole lot of time to really get this right. We would need to rotate it, and then of course horizontally we would need to do a whole lot um, until it actually works. And you can see you're going to spend a little bit of time there. So why not make things easy for ourselves? Let's just turn the guides off. We can use the automatic features here. We can either just click immediately on the automatic fit for these, or we can use this feature which shows us the lines that it finds. Now, just a quick introduction to how the automatic fit works. Basically, you can either say, I want, for vertical perspective distortion, I want to correct that. I want to correct horizontal perspective distortion, which is the case in this image most of all. Or I want to do both at the same time. And as you can see, if you hover, you get more explanations on what these do. And you can tell it to only analyze the image for horizontal or vertical lines, for perspective lines, but not do the distortion yet. We're going to see in a moment how that works. So let's just click at analyzing, and you'll see that it finds lines that are vertical and horizontal. So it basically analyzes the image to see which lines are relevant here to the perspective. The article that I showed you earlier explains what the green and blue lines mean. They have different levels of priority or relevance for the perspective in the end. You could analyze it, you can just remove the lines again, or you can toggle the visibility of the lines on and off. Now let's do some magic, shall we? We're going to do we're going to do a vertical perspective correction first, and just to show you this, we're going to go back to this image. Going to reset this. We're going to do the vertical perspective correction. And ta-da! Now the skyscraper is perfectly vertical, and you can see that the image was rotated just a little bit as well, so that now everything is correct. You can see here which corrections were applied. Now what you want to do is, of course, get rid of these borders here. Like, we don't want the image to look like this with the black margin. So what you can do is you can select automatic cropping. You can either say crop me to the largest possible area, or crop it to the original format of the image. The largest possible area gives you this crop, or the original format gives you this. Now we have the same format 3:2 that we had in the original image. I'm going to go for the largest area, and now I can just, I think, press enter, or I just go to a different tool. And there's the new image. Now it is perfectly cropped, all right, and it's perfectly in perspective. And we're going to do the same for our other image as well. On this image, we're going to need, as I said, at least horizontal. But ideally, we can also just do both at the same time. And now it makes it horizontally and vertically correctly in perspective. And now we do the automatic cropping, largest area, and we go to a different tool. And you can see the difference. Isn't it nice? I think it's nice. So that is basically what the perspective correction tool does. You can also select a generic or specific lens model, and you can choose what kind of lens you were using when you were shooting. Obviously that information is available here in the image information down here. EOS 40D, EFS 70-55. So you can choose the focal length, crop factor, and aspect adjustment that you had for these. Again, this has tooltips when you hover over it, so everything is explained. I hope this helps you understand the perspective correction module a little bit better. Perspective correction obviously was possible before this. You could just use let's just go back to quickly show you this. Here. You could use the crop and rotate tool to do something similar, but of course it wasn't as awesome as what this new one is. Keystone. By using the keystone thing, you could modify perspective as well, and of course it also had guides that you could use. Make a grid here. You click on OK, and perspective is changed. Definitely not corrected, but I know I'm going to be using this new perspective correction module a lot because it rocks. So I expect that you will probably do the same. Thank you very much for watching, and we will be in touch soon. Bye.